As you can see there, I'm Dr Almeida, and this presentation is going to be made by Professor Escudeiro and me in a collaborative way, as we will see later on. Okay, I'm working in the IT area, in IPP, an informatic, in the informatic department, and so my presentation is Principles of Blended Education Methods. Okay, the agenda for this meeting is based on our teaching experience in higher education and in the supervising of some internships that were realized in Portugal and in companies from other countries. So we realized that there was a room to innovative teaching paradigms that are addressing new labor market needs. After that, we are going to briefly define the main concepts of blended education area, such as blended mobility, and the main advantage of this teaching learning education area. Okay. And paradigm. Then we will present some initiatives that were made in Europe using blended mobility for education. And in order to develop these new initiatives, there is the need to use tools that can be used to produce the learning and teaching activities. Then we are going to present a set of guidelines to the learning and teaching initiatives to be implemented as blended mobility. And in the end, we are going to present a project that exists for 10 years, and it has produced a lot of successful results. It's the blended project. Okay, so as a result of several events, and the main one is the globalization, and as we spoke before, the Internet of Things, big data, and other technological advances, there are changes that are happening in the market labor. So nowadays, a lot of companies have more than one office that can be in the same country or in different countries, which leads to an increase of costs because workers might have to go abroad, and there are the trips that the company has to pay, and it also can cause some inconvenience to their workers because they have to move around. Maybe they have to speak a foreign language or a common language so that can be understood in the other office. And new competencies are required by the labor market for the new years and the coming years. So, let's start by a definition about what is nowadays employability. That is said to be a set of skills and competencies that allows a person to find and keep a job in a certain area. Okay, from this definition, we can see what the companies nowadays are expecting. They are expecting that the worker has technical and knowledge about the work that he's going to do, and these are called hard skills. But nowadays companies want more than that. So this definition is no longer a good definition because they simple take them for granted. This means that every worker, when goes to a company, must have hard skills. But it also needs, as said before, other skills that are the soft skills that the workers nowadays must have to adapt to the changes in this era that is happening too fast. So, now we are going to see some studies that gives us some skills that are were identified in those studies for the workers nowadays. So, They have to have leadership capacities, critical thinking, communication with other workers. They must collaborate among them in the same or in different countries. They must adapt to the changes. It's the same ever in the humanity history. The ones that rule the world for long periods of times are the ones that adapt most easily. So they have to have the knowledge about global citizenship, entrepreneurialism, and this is a study by the University of Phoenix in USA. Other studies talked like P21 group. They identified some skills like collaboration between workers, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. These are the common skills that all the studies point at. So another study, and complements by P21 once again, and it uses 3 more skills. And the ones that are relevant, most relevant for us, it's computing and ICT literacy, and career and learning self-reliance. OECD also identified 3 skills that can be similar as the ones from the 4C, and there is also a study from the European Commission that had a big impact that identified or classifying competencies in 3 main areas: the foundational literacies, competencies, and character qualities. But in the end, it can be all seen here, and you have the 4 C's over there: critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. Okay, those are the main topics. So, this study shows, sorry, I cannot show with my mouse, the Erasmus Impact Study. There was a study made by the European Commission, shows a few things. And those are that students that were involved in internships, mobility projects, in 5 years after their graduation, I have less unemployment than students that didn't take part of any internship projects. But it also shows us that from the employer's point of view, they have some preference from students that took their internships mobility during their studies. Why? Because it's easier for them to develop the soft skills, the new skills that are wanted from the market, the labor market. So, there is a need to development competencies addressing the labor market needs in the digital area. So, something has to be done, and higher education institutions must develop ways and new models of teaching to make students having this contact with these skills as earlier as it could be done. So, the developing of these competencies during studies require new teaching and learning paradigms based on students and centered on learning technologies. So, as said before, these are the main contributes that higher institutions can give to their students. Mobility, mainly international mobility, which is connected to employability. And that blended mobility can overcome some barriers to mobility. Okay. From our point of view, blended education might be a core approach for the 21st century higher education. As I said before, we are in a project that is going to be presented after biennial for 10 years, and it's working with pretty good results. So, why blended education? Because it promotes equity and equal opportunities to all the students. because we already have Erasmus study programs, but they took a longer period of time that it's not always convenient to all the kind of students, as we are going to see after. So, because it tears down barriers to mobility, because you don't need to move all the time or to be abroad for or you can be away for a shorter period of time. If you don't have to travel that much, you can call it eco-friendly, and it, for us, one very important point is that it can be adapted to any field of study. Okay, but from our experience, the projects of the end of the course are the most suitable for this approach. Okay, so we are going to give some concepts, definitions that are connected to blended mobility. So we have academic mobility. Academic mobility means the movement from students and teachers from one higher education to another higher education in the same or in other country for teaching or learning during a set of time, a period of time. So this mobility can be physical, can be virtual, or it can be blended. Blended means a mix of those. So physical mobility refers to students and teachers moving physically from one higher institution to other higher institution for a period of time to study or to teach, depending if it's a student or if it's a teacher. So virtual mobility refers to students or teachers from one institution teaching or learning in another institution without moving from their places, and it can be during a limited period of time, but it can also be available for all the studies of the student. So blended mobility, as I said before, it's a combination of both of them. So the important thing here is that there is a partnership between higher education institutions from different countries, maybe from different areas, and it can be improved if the company is also involved in the project, so that the objectives and the work plan can be established, and then the students and the teachers can work for some periods of time in a face-to-face way and other periods of time away in their own institutions. So, blended education, teaching and learning combines online educational materials and the opportunities for interaction online with the classical teaching approach. So, face-to-face, student to teach. So there are moments that you have online teaching and other moments such as the evaluations where the students and the teachers must be at the same place, face-to-face. So you can check this in blended mobility at Wikipedia. You can trust it, although teachers are always saying don't trust in Wikipedia. This page was made by us, so by the coordinators of the blended project. So the information that is there is trustable. So the main advantages from blended mobility is that before the cost of internship mobility were a significant barrier. With blended mobility, the student doesn't have to give up from his internalization experience, because the costs are reduced since they only have to go abroad 2 times, one for the first meeting and the other time for the last meeting. So they don't have to support the costs of being away from home, renting a house, and so on. Normally, in this kind of projects, if the company is involved, the company can support some costs. Then there is the risk of missing local job opportunities. Since if you are in your last year, almost for sure you are trying to find a job. If you are away, it's difficult or not if you want to work abroad, but it can be considered as a limitation. And anxiety. Sometimes students face anxiety of going away for a long period of time, and they give up before even have started their experience. So another situation that is avoided by blended mobility is that students with some disabilities or chronic disease, they can, since they have to be abroad for shorter periods of time, they can also go, because the majority of the time they are studying at their own institutions. So, in the end, blended mobility, as was told before, overcomes all of these barriers. So, we can now see some blended mobilities initiatives, mainly in Europe, and that is being mobile, that's aimed to show to teachers and students that it is possible with cooperation, it is possible to promote European cooperation with the use of virtual mobility. This project is no longer in use. Victorious, that results of a group of universities from different areas that committed to create a special academic and cultural ties that aims to promote internationalization among their students and their organizations. We also have VMBase that intends to improve the exchanges of students, offering them virtual mobility in the beginning and after the end of the physical mobility. Cross-sector virtual mobility that aims to stimulate employability, offering virtual support to their physical internships. VM Collab that aim to have help to students to face challenges in the international market and the industry and improve the collaboration of higher institutions among countries in Europe. And then we have MUTW and Blended M that are not going to present in here because Professor Escudeiro is going to talk about them later. One problem that we can see here is that almost all these projects are no longer working. Why? Because most of them were supported by EU funds and nothing was done in a way to get their own funds to keep the projects working. So, to have blended mobility, of course we are going, if we are not doing all the semester in a physical institution, physically moving from one institution to another, it's obviously you have to communicate, and to communicate you must use IT technology. And for that you can use tools such, for communication such as Skype, WhatsApp, Messenger, or new tools that appear in the market in the next years, or that the company uses in their day-to-day work. You can have teamwork tools like Slack, Trello, and others. Version control, mainly for the development of software projects. And there you can have Git, Bitbucket, but you can find a lot of other tools to work. So, as you can see, this is why the collaboration, skill is so important, and cooperation. And you have groupware tools, Basecamp, that it's a very good tool, but it is paid. You have to pay a license for it. Learn management systems like Moodle, that at least in Portugal, almost all the higher education institutions already use it. And you can use some portals for search opportunities like Praxis to work abroad in virtual mobility way. Now I'm going to pass the word to my colleague. No, sorry, I still have one more slide to talk, and then I'm going to pass the word to my colleague, Professor Nick. So, to implement the blended mobility activities, a set of guidelines is going to be presented. For us, all the project unities are adequate to blended mobility. Okay, but as I said before, the ones from the final courses are easier to implement, but any unit can be part of the blended mobility. So, students must be credited for their work. Why? Because each student is going to be assigned to a task, and if he doesn't earn anything, it could be complicated to keep him motivated, and if he fails, all the team is going to fail, because this project is all about teamwork, and if one of the persons of the team fails, the rest of the team probably will fail also, and it is complicated. It aims to promote multidisciplinary intercultural environment. As I said before, the project is from different areas of knowledge. It can be from marketing, IT, and so and so. We have to invest on team building. Why? Because there are only 2 presential meetings, one at the beginning and the other in the end. So you have to have the team working well together, have to have all the students knowing well each other, because in the end of the first meeting they are going to work at their own institutions. So if they don't have a good relationship between them, it's going to be difficult to have the project finished with success or even on time. So this strategy allows the connection between the 3 axes: higher education institutions, students, and companies, to work together, and all of them have to gain with this work together, and they all have to use some IT tools that it's more and more the future. Okay, so I'm going to pass the word to my colleague, Professor Escudeiro, that is going to present blended.
I think I'm online now. Thank you, Ricardo. So just to wrap up what Ricardo just told us, in fact things have changed a lot in the last 30 or 40 years regarding the competencies that students are expected to offer the labor market, and also regarding to the way that the course goes during the study period. When I finished my undergraduate degree last century, and whenever I was going to a job interview, the employers were asking me if I could program in assembler, if I could program in C, if I did my undergraduate in telecommunications, if I knew anything about antennas, about electromagnetism. I did not know much about this last one, but that's another issue. But they were very much concerned about the technical issues, about the hard skills. That was enough for you to get a job or not. Today is completely different. Today you get the CV when you go to the job interview, you offer the CV to the employer, and he looks at it and says, okay, very good, you have very good marks. But then during the interview, you're starting to realize if you are good in communication, Even you might have part of your interview in English or another foreign language, and they are trying to see how you can develop and evolve from the background you have, which is the technical skills that you have. And this is very important these days. It's common to say these days that A students work for B students. This means that A students are those with the higher grades, B students are those average students, but those average students that are more keen to be communicative and to work out of the box, they have better chances to evolve faster, to get better jobs, and to evolve faster in their professional. So this is a key change from what happened 30 years ago. There is another key change that came also through Erasmus and through the Bologna paradigm. When I did my degree, my undergraduate degree, it took me 5 years to do. Something that now you do in 3 years in most European countries. But if we take a look at the subjects that we were taught, I'm not sure if they are that different. So we have to compress what the technical knowledge that we have to pass to the students in 5 years. Now we have to do that in 3. So we have less time and we have more subjects, because besides the hard skills, we still have to develop soft skills in our students. That's why we believe that these demands for new teaching paradigms and blended mobility, we believe it's a very good approach to develop these competencies in students. We need to teach what we teach in different ways, so that in a shorter period of time during this process, the students can acquire these soft competencies while learning the hard skills. Another key topic is probably it's not the best way to teach or to develop soft competencies. It's not through traditional classes. It's very hard to teach someone how to behave in a team, how to develop leadership competencies by traditional classes. These are competencies that we develop while doing them, while doing things. And blended mobility can give you this setting, can put you in an environment where, while developing and studying your technical skills and applying your technical skills, you develop these soft skills because of the environment where you are, in fact, involved. And this is the key paradigm also of the Bologna process. Do not give content to the students, but develop learning environments where they can learn and motivate and be the main actors in their development process. Now, where does blended mobility come? Another issue that was important, that mentioned by Ricardo, is the barriers that blended mobility can tear down. You know, we have more than 250,000 students going on Erasmus every year. This is growing every year. Approximately 10% grow every year. And I'm sure all of us know Erasmus students. We know a lot from IPP and from other partners. But let me ask you, do you know any disabled student that has gone on Erasmus? Some student with some type of disability that has gone on Erasmus? I have been working on Erasmus for nearly 20 years now, and the first time I met a student with a disability that was on Erasmus was 2 years ago, by the time of the celebration of the 30 years of Erasmus. I was in Brussels in the celebrations, and I had a chance to meet a student that was very successful in his Erasmus internship, and from there on. But it was the first time I met some students with disability that went on Erasmus. I don't think this is because the students that have these handicaps do not want to go on Erasmus, but because they know it's very hard to study at your own country, and even more when you go abroad. Another key topic that Ricardo raised awareness to is the fact that international mobility is in fact a key initiative, a key activity to promote these soft skills in students. There is this study from the Commission from 2014 that shows that the students that go on Erasmus usually have better jobs faster and evolve faster in their professional career. Of course, this might be a bit reversed. Okay, we may say from the starting, okay, students that go in Erasmus to start are already students who are more keen to this type of initiative and that have other type of, different type of mindset than those that do not go on Erasmus. But I will not go on that. We have already been with many students in ESEP that go on Erasmus for 3-4 months period, and when they came back, they are completely different persons. So, in fact, this type of mobility or this type of initiative during studies, during a phase of your life where everything you get to absorb and makes you develop very fast, is in fact key to the development of the students and to the development of these soft competences on the students. So if we manage, and blended mobility does that, which is a possibility for you to experience this international contact while studying at home. So you can do a short period of work abroad and then come and do the rest at home. This is the blended mobility paradigm we are working on, and we believe that this can be really adequate for the 21st century, for higher education in the 21st century. What I'm going to show you is the result of 10 years of work on this area. The first course that we did on blended mobility was in 2009-2010 with a group of students from different universities, and we are developing this concept for 10 years. At the moment, we are at a very, I would say, at an advanced phase, and we are at the stage that we could not ever imagine in 2008 when we designed the first project. The motto for the first project that we run was a buzzword in management. I would say that you should think big and start small. So we thought big. We have a name that we have not achieved yet, but we expect to achieve in the next 2 or 3 years. And we started with the first team of students. At this moment, we have identified a niche in the market that is very suited for this type of course, which is the niche of the incubators, the startups, and the companies, SMEs, that are looking for some research efforts or a research team who can develop a proof of concept. If you have a genial idea and you want to see if it works, to develop a prototype or proof of concept, this is the niche where we believe this type of project that I will explain to you in a few minutes can work, because this is beneficial for all the stakeholders. This is beneficial for the students who are involved in the team. This is beneficial for the startups who get a proof of concept at a very low cost, and beneficial also for the universities for promoting this deeper interconnection between the academia and the professional world. So what we are, let's say, selling to the incubators in Europe these days are that if you have an idea, an innovative product, an innovative idea that you want to develop, and you want to get a proof of concept, a prototype, then we can give you a team of students from different study fields to solve your problem and to provide you this proof of concept. This is now the concept of blended mobility. You can access the website if you like, but we'll move on and go to more details. Let me give you a little bit of the story of blended AIM. So blended AIM stands for Blended Academic International Mobility, and this is this initiative on blended mobility that we are working now with students from all over Europe and from the Middle East. So this started, as I told you a while ago, in 2009, 2010, with the first team of students. At this time we had 11 universities in the consortia, 22 students, so 2 students from each university. Currently we have already involved more than 200 students in this project course. And we ran this for 2 years. This was supported by EU funding for the first 2 years, where we developed the concept. At this stage we had one project that was an academic project. So the teachers in the group decided, okay, this year we are going to give this problem to the students to work on. So it was only for IT students, software development, only IT students, and an assignment that was designed by the teachers. This happened during these 2 first years. Then on this third year, so for this period, we were running the course on our own expenses with a dynamic consortium. So there were universities that were coming in and coming out every year, depending on the resources they found. But here it was the first big step forward, because from 2011, 2012, we started having multidisciplinary teams of students. We started having students from IT, together with students from marketing, from management, from graphical arts, all developing a solution still for a problem that was provided by the teachers. Then, from 2013, 2014, this was the first year we got a company interested in this project. Then we started having a project being offered by the company. So the students now, from this edition of the course, were working with a real company and working. The first company we got was an Austrian company, and this was from there on. So from this year on, we have been working always with companies, and since 2016, 2017, we have more offers from companies to develop proof of concept than we can cope with. Then this paradigm, let's say, evolved a lot, and we applied for EU funds again in 2015, 2016. The project was funded for these 3 years, so we are at this moment running the 2018-2019 edition of the course. It's the 10th edition of the course. We are not being funded anymore, but now we are in fact trying to export this concept to other geographies, to the Middle East. We have, at this edition, we have partners from Kurdistan, and we have also from Iraq, a region in Iraq. We have partners in other areas in the Middle East interested in joining the consortium, and we have in fact identified this niche that I told you, the incubators in this. So we are cooperating with big incubators in Europe. IMEC is one of the biggest, I would say, all over the world. They are very much interested in this concept, so we can create and offer a team of students